All right, we're live.
Okay. Hello, welcome everyone to our special GovOp committee meeting for today, Monday, October 21st, 2024. It's 5:15. At the table, we have Councillor Leonard, Councillor Chair Pelletier, Councillor Fish, Councillor Trimble, Councillor Dean, Councillor Schaefer, Councillor Haas, myself, Councillor Yaqub Aga, Councillor Fournier, and also we are joined by Courtney O'Donnell, who is Assistant City Manager. So we have just a couple items and we're gonna add one more. Do you wanna lead us please with the first one, Courtney?
Yes, the first one is a climate action update and application to apply for community action grant funding in the amount of 75,000. And with us, we have Anya Collette, our city planner, who has been working on this to give you this update.
Yes, so this is another round of the community action grant through the Community Resilience Partnership, which we had previously a few years ago gotten grant funding for. And for this round, staff are proposing to apply for funding for a building energy audit for some of our city-owned buildings and also bike parking. So we have some existing city funds that we can use for bike parking downtown and the Cross Center, and we would use this community action grant funding to focus outside of that area in places like the schools. And if there are any maybe city parks that need bike racks, we would look in those locations. So if you all are amenable, we'll plan to take this to the October 28th council meeting.
Nice. So we would need a vote on this.
Yes.
We do.
I would
Okay.
move staff recommendations.
Second. Thank you. So voting members actually on this committee are Councillor Fish, Councillor Haas, Councillor Schaefer, Councillor Trimble, and myself, Councillor Yaqub Aga. So we have a motion, we have a second, so it's approved to go to the council on Monday. Any question?
And I did just want to follow up with some of the climate updates that I included in my memo. So number one, BAX is really close to submitting the EPA Community Change Grant application that would provide funding for number one, resilience hubs in the region. So things like warming, cooling centers, and then also engineering designs for bicycle and pedestrian improvements on some of our major routes. And then also stormwater infrastructure upgrades and repairs throughout the region. They would be working with the Bangor Area Stormwater Group for that. We are also really close to finalizing a right to operate agreement with Tandem Mobility for a bike share program. And we have submitted the application for the energy efficiency block grant program to do a municipal EV transition plan and then get a EV for general city use. And we are also working on the RFP we brought to you a few months ago from Efficiency Maine to put in additional chargers. And also just want to let you know, community development staff are working on a flyer that outlines all the different retrofits that people can take advantage of, or incentives for retrofits people can take advantage of. So Efficiency Maine rebates, federal tax credits, our local rebates. So I think that'll be really awesome for getting the word out to people. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. The second item.
Yes, just a few updates I wanted to throw out there while we were having this special meeting. The first one is just a quick follow-up to a question related to the public restrooms in the community. They have been, at this point, they've all been replaced and they are now retrofitted to be ADA compliant. So that is good news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Absolutely. And then also the website. The launch date was originally the end of October. It's being pushed out a couple of weeks just to be extra thorough, if you will, to make sure that all the content is up to date and that the layout makes the most sense. Because in a nutshell, the new website is fantastic in a lot of ways, but it migrated over like all the old content, which we had that old website for well over a decade. And so things have kind of been added in random places and things. So we are taking a second look to make sure that's all cleaned up and that the content is updated. And while we could have done that after it went live, we just want it to be as clean and thorough and comprehensive as possible. So so that's been pushed out, hopefully to the middle of November, and I'll provide an update as we get closer to that, but that's, not terrible news, hopefully, but I think it'll be good for the site itself. And then my last update has to do with the community connector. You will note that I had an advertising policy update on my upcoming list. It is something that we're chipping away at. It seems like every time we get close to bringing it to council, we think of something else that needs to be addressed, and so it kind of has to work back through staff again, but it is on our radar. And we are also working on finalizing it's actually called the micro mobility policy, but it's in essence a bike rack policy. So you may remember through climate funding and things, we were granted the funds to put on bike racks that would accommodate not only fat tire, but also the electric bicycles. And so this is mostly like how to actually physically put them on and take them off. So instructions around that, but also what will be allowed on the bus for safety reasons and what isn't. And so that will be coming out shortly as well. But yeah, so that's happy to take questions, but that's what I had.
Yes, Councillor Schaefer.
I think it's great that we're delaying the new website until at least after the election as well.
Yes,
But
it will be,
also, is
yeah.
it possible to get all of the voting information put on the front page of the website? Because I still was digging around and it is
Yeah.
hard to find when, I mean, I know when it starts, but it's hard to find when early voting starts. If you can early vote now, it's the drop box here, this city hall or that city hall. But I think it'd be great if we could even put it, like, we have all the city hall relocation information and ARPA information, homelessness response.
Yeah, so, oh, you mean like right now?
Now.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes, we can 100% do that.
Yeah.
And just to kind of, so people will notice on the new website when it launches that it's like much cleaner and there's not as much clutter as there is on our current website. But what's great about that is there's something called graphic links that live kind of at the bottom or the middle of the page, which are meant to be those quick links to get you in places where people often are going to the website for. And so we would in the future be able to actually swap one of those out for voting information, for example, so that it's pretty quick and easy. But in the meantime, we'll definitely make sure that that's updated.
I mean, it's great that we have all this stuff about budget information and all that, but I
Yeah.
think what people are probably going to look for right now is
Absolutely.
how to vote, where to vote, how to
Yes.
register, all of that. And I think those graphic things are great, because it would also probably be great in an instance of like a, storm is coming.
Yep.
You know,
News and alerts, yeah, absolutely,
like, I
yeah.
think that's wonderful, but for now, it'd be nice to see that updated.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, absolutely. We'll take care of that first thing tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's exciting to have the new one. I can't wait to see that when it's launched. A lot of complaints we received in the past about confusion, how things were just lost. People can't find what they're looking for. So I'm hoping this one will be really,
Yes, we work,
accessible and easy
Yes.
to navigate, to use, and so people can get to where they need to be.
yes, absolutely. It's built on things like Civic Plus is a great thing, making sure that everything is ADA compliant, but we are operating under like the 3-click thing, so you shouldn't have to click more than 3 times to get where you need to go. No more than a few scrolls down before you're redirected elsewhere, so that you're not looking at endless pages of content and other things that really are meant to streamline and make things user friendly for citizens to find things quick and easy for sure.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so
Thank you
it's
for
very
coming.
exciting.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions before we wrap this up? No? Okay, I guess we get to the end of the VAB committee meeting. I think it's the last one, right?
Of this council year.
For this
yes.
council.
Well, we're
Yep.
not doing it in 2 weeks.
Usually we don't do council committee meetings right before election,
Okay.
unless they can take action. So there could be like, for example, a finance committee meeting,
Right.
if it's an action that the finance committee itself can take on, but what we try to avoid is an item coming before, for example, this committee, but the order or the official action by the council not occurring until
Yeah.
the new council. So usually there's a bit of a gap there before we meet again.
Ironically, it's because I always have to hunt down the calendar to see what committees are meeting, so now, and it still shows it on there.
Yeah, because we don't, that's like kind of the standing schedule, which we don't update till the Friday before, but we can definitely take a look at that sooner rather than later. Yeah.
Okay, I guess we get to the end of the VAB committee meeting for tonight. Stay tuned for